Hello and welcome to this edition of Overtime. I'm Nicole Dubé, joined as always by Ted Wyman, the sports editor for the Winnipeg Sun. Okay, we're going to talk about what I don't really want to talk about, I'll be honest, because I feel like it's just so sad, but the Bombers and the Grey Cup. Obviously, it was a very disappointing loss, but let's reflect on the season, Ted. Would you say it was a successful season overall?
Absolutely, it was a successful season overall for the Blue Bombers. If nothing else, they had sellout after sellout. They made a lot of money. The bottom line is going to be very good for this team. They were 4-14 a year ago. They went 10-8 this year. They won a playoff game. They made it to the Grey Cup. They were that close. And absolutely, it's a success. It was a very disappointing result in the Grey Cup for a lot of fans. But the Blue Bombers went into BC, where BC was at home, where they were the hottest team in the league. It was unfortunate, but they just didn't have that good of a chance to win the game, and they weren't able to pull it off. But, you know, when you go over this offseason and look back, it has to be looked at as a successful season.
I would agree. When I look back overall on the season, it does put a smile on my face. Nonetheless, when you slice and dice that Grey Cup final, certainly a lot of criticisms can be made. And this week, it seems like the Bombers decided to make a cut of their own.
Yeah, sacrificial lamb, I guess, and that is Jamie Barisi, the offensive coordinator, who has been fired. And the Blue Bombers are going to look for somebody else to take over that position because I think it just wasn't a good fit. Paul LaPolice was calling the plays himself anyways. I think maybe he's looking for somebody to come in here and call the plays for him next year so he doesn't have to have that responsibility.
Right.
Perhaps he didn't have faith that Jamie Barisi could do that for him. Anyway, the offense wasn't good. The offense was the reason they didn't win the Grey Cup. They weren't good enough. Somebody has to go. So I'm a bit surprised it's been this quick.
Yes, I would agree.
It's a decisive move by the Bombers.
Sometimes change for the sake of change to change things up, right?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's going to be, I mean, it's like I said, it's so early into the off-season process, but they're going to try to find somebody right away, and that's an immediate way that they can fix this team to make the offense better.
All right, well, we'll see how that plays out next season. To our other boys in blue, the Winnipeg Jets, they're kicking off what's going to be quite a long home stretch of games.
Yeah, they did kick it off on Tuesday night against the Ottawa Senators with what I thought was a very bad way to kick it off. They just didn't play a very solid game overall. They lost 6-4. They had 2 leads, including one in the third period. I thought that they were going to win that game a couple of times because of the way they were coming on, but then they took a big step back at various times. They still took bad, untimely penalties. They are still not a very disciplined team, and they didn't get good goaltending, and that's been a bit of a sore spot for them this year. They're just not getting as good of goaltending as I think they need to make a push for the playoffs.
What about goal scoring? I know they struggled. I was at the game, and I could see they had so many opportunities. They just couldn't quite finish. Kane, though, came out very strong.
Kane is having a fantastic season. He's got 12 goals already, which has him on pace for over 35 this year. He only had 18 last year. People said the Jets were going to be a better offensive team if Evander Kane picked it up. He's absolutely done it so far.
Okay, and then, well, we're looking forward, obviously, to the Jets taking on, I guess, the old Jets.
Yeah. Thursday night at MTS Center, it's Jets 1.0 against Jets 2.0 when the Phoenix Coyotes come to town. I think it's really exciting for Winnipeggers to have this happen. The Jets already played in Phoenix, but it wasn't a big deal to anybody down there. Shane Doan was a Winnipeg Jet, and he moved to Phoenix with the team. He's still with the Phoenix Coyotes. He's the captain, and he's here. It's going to be an interesting day for him. And I think that the fans they found a way to boo just about everybody coming in. I think they'll probably boo the Coyotes pretty well.
I was going to ask you if you thought there might be some conflicting feelings among some fans.
Probably not. I think that they've transferred their allegiances to the new Winnipeg Jets wholeheartedly. But I think it's kind of cool that this is happening.
It'll be a fun game.
Absolutely.
All right, Ted, thanks so much. That's all our time for Overtime. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.